Good evening everyone. This is Sushma, Department of Science. Today we are going to deal with an interesting topic called microorganisms. So we all know about microorganisms, is it not? These micro means very small, since because of the size of these organisms, they cannot be seen through our naked eye. They can be seen only with the help of a microscope. Hence we call them as microbes. And the science that deals with the study of microorganisms is known as microbiology. And these microorganisms are found everywhere. They are found in air, water, soil, and even inside our bodies. If you take, we can classify the microorganisms into 5 different groups. They are bacteria, virus, fungi, algae, and protozoa. Now we shall see with virus. So virus is a tiny particle which is made up of a genetic material and a protein. So genetic material is composed of 2 types, RNA and DNA. So they are nothing but they are also creatures, and they are intermediate between living and non-living things. So virus in Latin means poison, and these are nothing but they are intracellular. So what is intracellular? That is, they will live within the cell. They need a host cell for replication, and they are also called as obligatory parasites. And the study of virus is called virology. So logy indicates study. So the study of virus here is called virology, and they are even smaller than the bacteria. And we have got different shapes of viruses. They can be either rod shape, spherical, or other shapes. And coming to the structure of virus, it contains a core nucleic acid and a protein coat. And in some viruses, the protein coat will be covered by an envelope which is made of proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. So these envelopes have spikes. So with the help of these spikes only, the virus will attach to the host cells, and they cause many diseases to plants, animals, and human beings. So this is the structure of the virus. And let us see the characteristics of virus. So we all know that viruses, they are obligatory parasites, and they need a living cell to multiply, that is the host. Now we shall see some of the characters. So the viruses show both living and as well as non-living characters. Coming to living characters, they respond to heat, chemicals, and radiations. They also reproduce inside the host cells and produce copies of themselves. And non-living characters, if we take, they are inactive. That is, when we take the virus out of the host cell, it is dead. It is inactive. It cannot do anything. And they can be crystallized and stored for a very long time, like other non-living things. Coming to the next group, that is bacteria. So bacteria are single cell prokaryotes. So what is a prokaryote? Prokaryotes are organisms with cells without a prominent nucleus, and they are considered to be the first living organisms on earth. So all bacteria are grouped under the kingdom called Monera, and here the study of bacteria is called bacteriology. And there are 2 types of bacteria based on respiration. So we can classify the bacteria based on respiration into 2 types. One is aerobic bacteria and the other one is anaerobic bacteria. So here aerobic bacteria are organisms which require oxygen for survival, and anaerobic bacteria, it does not require oxygen. Even in the absence of oxygen, they can survive. So this is the structure of the bacteria. Here we have the DNA, that is the nucleic acid, and pili for locomotion, and flagella also. For some bacteria, they possess flagella also. So coming to the cell structure of bacterium. So this is the anatomy of the bacterial cell. So bacterial cell has an outer covering which is known as the cell wall, and the nuclear material is presented by a nucleoid. So with no nucleus, as I said, bacteria belongs to a prokaryote. So well defined nucleus will be absent. Instead, nucleoid will be present, and an extra chromosomal DNA called plasmid is present here. So plasmid is present in the cytoplasm, and cytoplasm is nothing but it is a jelly-like matrix where all the cell organelles will be embedded inside it, and protein synthesis will be carried out by this ribosomes, that is 70S ribosomes. So ribosomes are an important cell organelle which help in protein synthesis, and other cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum are absent in a bacterial cell. And this flagella, they mainly aid in locomotion. Some bacteria, they possess pili and cilia also for locomotion. So this is about the cell structure of bacterium. And based on the shape, the bacteria can be classified into 4 types. First one is bacilli, second one is spirillum, third one is cocci, and the last one is vibrio. So bacilli is nothing but it is rod shaped bacterium. So here you can see the shape of the bacteria. So this is bacillus and it is rod shaped. Example for this bacteria is Bacillus anthracis, and the second one is spirillum. It is spiral shaped bacteria. Example Helicobacter pylori, and the third bacteria is cocci. So it will be spherical in shape and they can stick together in pairs. Sometimes they appear in pairs also, like Staphylococcus, and sometimes they occur in chains also, which we call them as Streptococcus. So if the bacteria occurs in pairs, it is Diplococcus. If it is forming a chain, it is Streptococcus, and if it occurs in bunches, it is Staphylococcus. And the last one is Vibrio. So we can also call this bacteria as comma shaped bacteria. So can you see the structure here? So this is Bacillus, this is Spirillum, and this is Vibrio, and the last one is cocci. So these are the shapes of bacteria based on cell wall. Next is we are going to classify the bacteria based on the number and arrangement of flagella. So it can be classified as monotrichous, Lophotrichus, Amphitrichus, Peritrichus, and Atrichus. So monotrichus means having a single flagella at one end. So here is the structure. This is monotrichus. So the bacterium will be having only one flagella. Example is Vibrio cholerae. And Lophotrichus having tuft of flagella at one end. So this is Lophotrichus. Only at one end the flagella will be present. Example Pseudomonas. And coming to Amphitrichus, tuft of flagella will be present at both the ends. So this is the example for Amphitrichus. So both the ends you have got the flagella. The example is Rhodospirillum rubrum. And Peritrichus, the bacteria will not have a flagella at all. Example is Escherichia coli, that is E. coli. So this is the structure for Peritrichus. And the last one is Atrichus. Atrichus bacteria, Peritrichus will have flagella all around the cell. So a bacteria which has a flagella all around the cell is called Peritrichus, and this is the structure. Example is Escherichia coli. And finally we have Atrichus, that is a cell without any flagella. So the bacterial cell will not have any flagella. Example Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So this is monotrichus with one flagella, Amphitrichus tuft of flagella at both ends, and Lophotrichus tuft of flagella at one end. Then Peritrichus, you will have flagella all over the cell, all around the cell, and the last one is Atrichus, cell without any flagella. And the bacteria, how do they get the food? So they will get the food in many ways. For example, photosynthetic bacteria, they can make their own food, that is cyanobacteria. So what is cyanobacteria? It is also called as blue-green algae. And those bacteria which live in harsh environment, they use chemicals to produce food. Instead of utilizing energy from the sun, they will use chemicals to produce food. Okay, example ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. So this process is called, if they are using chemicals, so synthesis, what is chemosynthesis? The process of preparing food with the help of chemicals, that we call it as chemosynthesis. And some bacteria, they also exhibit symbiotic relationship. Example E. coli, which lives in the intestine of man. And how about the reproduction of bacteria? Bacteria reproduces by fission, both binary and multiple fission. Thank you.